their album Killjoy. Ian caught them tuning up at a soundcheck in West Auckland.
They started off in Wellington, working hard to gain a following. That following got bigger, and now Shihad are regulars in overseas music magazines. But before they skip the country again, this time to LA, I decided I should catch up with them for a chat in New Lynn. The success of Killjoy in New Zealand has been astronomical. I mean, but for most of the album, in fact, the release, you weren't actually in New Zealand. How did it do so well when you weren't even here to promote it?
Because when you turn it up loud, it sounds good. Do it.
You know how well it was going when you were overseas?
No, not really. I don't. It was just like Churn did its thing, and Killjoy was a natural progression, and it was bigger, I think, in some ways, just because we did it ourselves, you know, and we got across what we wanted to do rather than having someone's influence over the top of it. And I think people who've seen us live could actually relate to the album a lot easier than they could to Churn, because Churn is like a really sort of cold, sort of industrial, atmospheric record, you know. And Killjoy is like a rock record.
You started off in Wellington just playing around the circuit, and then all of a sudden bands like Faith No More and Metallica started showing an interest in you and expressing their praise. How did they hear about you?
Metallica was through Faith No More. Faith No More was through Tom, who was doing the drumming on the Killing Joke record. The guys from the Ministry was through Leap Hoper, who was the sound man for Killing Joke. Got a copy of our record. Rob Zombie was a guest reviewer for a metal mag over in Europe, and he had to review you again, and he really liked it, so that was cool. It's White Zombie sort of rock as well. But I don't know, it's just, you've just got to get there. You've just got to go over there to make yourself, to exist, you know? Like, we're so far away from everything that you don't exist to the rest of the world almost. But the thing is, that's good in some ways. It's got an effective, a good effect as well, whereas people over in Europe are jaded and the rock scene's almost dying, falling on its face, because they've run out of ideas and because they're all caught up in what's been going on. They're trying to analyse the past, trying to get the next thing, and they just can't quite get it. But out here, we've got much more chance to do it because we're so isolated and we can have our own thing, you know. I think that's definitely the plus about being isolated, but then there's the geographical negative of the people not even knowing what's going down here, you know. So you just got to get there, do it, come back. There'd be heaps of New Zealand bands that would cut it over there.
I believe a Swedish channel wanted you to do the haka at one point or something.
Yeah, no, they asked us to do the haka, but I mean, quite honestly, we wouldn't know it properly, and, you know, unless we approached the right people, I don't think it would have been appropriate at all, you know. It's something that's a pretty special thing.
Did you get sort of likened to sheep and all the usual sort of New Zealand jokes?
No, you usually get that attitude more off Australians and Americans. The Europeans kind of, they don't really tend to push that point too much, but yeah, Australians especially and Americans come in a close second there with all the sheep jokes too.
Are you making a living from your music?
Not really. When we're doing gigs, we're getting like a per diem, like a daily little thing enough to buy food, you know, to keep us full, keep our bellies full for the day. But nah, because when when we're at home, we haven't got any income at all, you know, and we're not on the road.
We're gradually learning how to cope with the rigours of touring, which although, you know, it's a very romantic thing, rock and roll, and to go out there and tour is very romantic, and it's a dream I've had since I was 11 years old. But when you actually do it, you know, there's a lot of, the downside is quite heavy at times.
There must be thousands of bands that are wondering how you sort of jumped up to the level you're at the moment all of a sudden. What explanation can you give to them?
We just played and played and played and played and played, and the more you play and the less you're living this other world where it's 9 to 5 and you've got to work to, you know, you've got to work to fund this hobby or this side project when you're actually there, and it takes on that perspective of, yeah, I'm doing this for a living now, and I'm doing it with everything I've got, you know, and I think that's the difference.
You just got to have blind faith, you know, really. That's why we're still together, because we've just, you know, we've been through some pretty rough times, but we've just had that blind faith that we're gonna see these hard bits through.
The album, you actually recorded it quite a while ago. Are you going to be recording soon?
We're looking basically at recording as soon as we come back from the States. That's the kind of timeline that we've given ourselves, and it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. You know, it'll be another different album again.